Good YouTube, and I'm back with another video. And this video is a continuation of my last 4 Nights of the Apocalypse episode review. In this episode, we're going to be covering the day is episode 2. Before that, let's have a slight recap on what took place last episode. So, last episode, we meet Vargas and Percival, his grandson. And we see how they inked out a life for themselves on God's finger. It was kind of like a day in the life of Percival and Vargas. So, we meet Percival. He's this chipper young lad. He doesn't really care too much about traveling the outside world or having adventures. He just kind of enjoys living with his grandfather on top God's finger. They hunt, they train, and that's it. And though that's enough for Percival, we get a sense that Vargas, he disagrees with that notion. He wants Percival to live a more fulfilling life, have adventures, explore Britannia, and meet friends and other people, and does not be so willing to stake out his existence living as a nomad on top God's finger. And I said it last episode, I think that's because Vargas, he wasn't doing a good job of selling the outside world. He wasn't selling Britannia good enough to Percival. Like, tell him, like I said jokingly, the One Piece is real. Like, tell him about some treasure. Like, he told him about different type of places and phenomena in Britannia. He ain't telling him about no women. Like, tell him the 2 Piece is real at least. I think Vargas, he just had a bad selling pitch. Like, he ain't have a good reasons to make Percival buy in and want to do adventures. Like, come on, my guy. A tangled forest, out of all things, a golden flying knight. Who cares? But moving on, let's move to the pivotal part of the episode. When Percival and Vargas, they're visited by a holy knight of Camelot named Ironside. And we learn from Ironside that he's an acquaintance of Vargas, a former holy knight of Arthur M. Camelot also. So this is something that we know from the first part of Seven Deadly Sins. Camelot no longer exists. And that's what kind of I had a question about. Like, how was he able to keep loyal subjects with no kingdom? I guess he got the power of chaos and just went around Britannia recruiting new subjects, or maybe he had other people that survived the Holy War alongside him. But he did learn, though, these new Holy Knights, they are staunchly loyal to Arthur, and they are immensely powerful. Because the moment Ironside confronts Vargas, he holds nothing back. Things get violent expeditious. What's crazy about that, what makes that whole significance, the fact that this is not just a battle between former acquaintances. This is a battle between father and son. Because we learn from Vargas that Ironside is his son. We learn from Ironside that Percival is also his son. So this is like a family feud on a whole nother scale. Instead of playing family trivia games, they facing off in Mortal Kombat to the death. And Ironside, he's not holding nothing back. He proceeds to no-deal Vargas in no time at all. At the beginning of the fight, you get the sense that Vargas, he's a strong holy knight. You like, okay, they melee for a while, they go back and forth with the swords, but then the moment Ironside activates his magic, he leaves a crater in Vargas. I'm like, oh, it's all over. Oh my God. And then that's the moment that Percival, he sees what's happening. He's like, oh my grandpa, what are you doing, my grandpa? And it's already over. Half the job is already done at this point. But Ironside, this jerk, this jerkwad, this douchebag, he turns around, looks at his own son and said, don't worry, you're next, kid. I'm like, oh crap. This is the type of villainous character we're dealing with in Fortnite. We're going to deal with these type of villains. And I like that. I like pure evil. But when it comes to your own seed, okay, I'm already foreseeing this man death being the gruesomest in this series. Because at this point, you kind of made the fan base already bloodthirsty. I like Percival, like, and for someone to come in and hurt him episode 1 so drastically, I gotta see his head on the plank. You gotta put his head on the plank. He gotta be crucified. Moving on, Ironside, his attention goes to Percival, and he proceeds to try to take our boy out his glory in his career before it even started. He leaves an X marks the spot with a magical attack on his chest, and he kind of defeats Percival easily. And that's when Vargas, he used the last bit of his strength to try to stop Ironside. He's hit with a devastating blow. This right here kind of just put the nail in the coffin for me. Oh yeah, he's gonna get his wings this episode. He's gonna make his heavenly debut. Oh my God, rest up, Vargas. When the episode, it kind of gets somber. We just get that sense of, oh, poor Percival. Like, oh, his only friend, his only other companion on top God's finger. But I understand narratively why he had to do it. This is the kick in the keister that Percival needs to go on his adventure. We had to just give Vargas his wings. He had to go into the upper room alongside other fallen Seven Deadly Sins members. I hope he meets Mael up there. Along with the What her name? The Supreme Deity. She's in heaven too. Oh God. But moving on, man, we just get this sense of poor Percival. He's forced to bury his own grandfather. I don't even know how he slept that night. He wakes up the next morning, he buries his grandfather, but he starts his adventure. And that's where we start episode 2. Like the immensity of his loss in episode 1. We see Percival in episode 2, and he's more or less the same. He still seems in good spirits. He's joyful. He's walking through the forest, and he's kind of curious about everything. And that's kind of the feel that we're going to get with this entire series. Because Vargas, like, never told Percival anything about the outside world, he's going to be experiencing all these new things, and he's going to be blissfully ignorant of everything, unaware and curious about everything. And it kind of gives you a good feel for this series, the upbeat type mood, because in this series, our MC is like extra innocent with a side of clueless. I mean, he sees a fox in the forest, he try to communicate with them, see what other humans are. And I mean, I guess it is not far-fetched to believe they're talking animals in Britannia, but to just go about it that way, yes. Percival, he's almost a child in a 16-year-old body. No, he's literally a child in a child body, but he's 16 years old. Crazy. We see other humans in the episode, and they seem to be traveling performers working on their act. And we see one of the main cast members, Donnie, with the red hair. I seen him in the opening, so he got to play a pivotal role in the story. So Percival, he walks up to the traveling performers. He's entertained by their act. Like I said, Percival, he's clueless about everything. This probably was the most entertaining thing he ever saw. When Donnie steps up, and our first introduction, I guess, perception of him is, I guess he's in his Pooh Shiesty arc, because he tries to extort Percival not once but twice. His first attempt is to try to swindle money out of Percival for that fake Circus Olay impression they was cooking up before. That Percival just so happened to glance over at. So he tries to get money out of Percival for that. The other people, they don't agree. I guess they got some integrity. Because, I mean, they realize this is a kid. He doesn't have no berries or coins or belly, whatever their currency is in Britannia. I guess they probably go by gold coin. That's most likely it. But so they try to do that. And he actually tries to run off with Percival's bag, not knowing Percival was literally a nomad. So literally the most important thing Percival got on him at this point in time is most likely the clothes on his back. And he tried to take his bag. And Percival, I guess he's a Flash at this point. He Usain Bolt. He activates the jets. He catch up to their wagon instantly. And that leaves Donnie confused, because he's like, oh, just get your bag back. He's thinking Percival's going to get aggressive with him, not knowing Percival is the most light-hearted, kind-hearted person you could ever meet. He's innocent as hell. I said it earlier, he's blissfully ignorant of everything. He don't realize he almost just got robbed. You know, Percival being Percival, he brushes off their attempted mug and he asks them about Ironside. And that name is not familiar to any of the traveling performers. And Percival being an open book, he lets them know why he's looking for him. He tells them that, yes, Ironside is my father who killed my grandpa. And that shocks them, because it's like, oh my God, D, what type of family feud issue you got going on here? I guess, and you're looking for revenge. That's one of the guy with the twirly headset. So I guess we get the motivation for Percival. He's not even looking for revenge. And it's like, Percival, stop being so ignorant. That's why I'm so pissed that his grandfather just didn't tell him about the world. You're going to try to find Ironside, and Ironside's going to try to smoke you again. He's going to try to flame your pack up, and you're not going to be strong enough to stop him. But I guess we're going to get that. We're going to cross that bridge when we get to it. Conversation continues, and it eventually leads to them allowing Percival to accompany them to the next village. And that's where he's going to obtain information on Ironside, or where to locate. He's on their way to head to a village. And it's on the way to that village, we see chaos erupting from said village. And it seems that it was a giant wolf attack. 2 civilians come running their way screaming. And that, I guess, lights a fire under Donnie. He wants to go save this village for some reason. I guess Donnie, he's having this kind of showing his cards. I guess he's cocky. It seems like he has some type of ambition that we're not unaware of. He talks about his dreams on the way to that village. I don't know. Something about Donnie we don't know about yet. So they head to the village, and we see that this is not no average sized wolf. It seems like a chaos wolf. It's reminiscent of Kath from the 7 Deadly Sins, the final antagonist. I guess the one that no one agreed with. It just came out of thin air. That guy, he looked like a chaos beast, and I'm guessing this is some handiwork of Arthur's Chaos Knights. And what's funny is Donnie, he seemed so enthusiastic at first about dealing with this threat at the village, dealing with this wolf, until he seen how immense it was. And then he flipped the script instantly. He went from,
come on, vamonos, everybody, let's go,
to this.
Oh, no, where's the zookeepers? Where's the zookeepers? No.
I ain't gonna lie, that was funny. I mean, he was more like, where are the holy knights? Where are the holy knights where you need them? But he was the same kind of feel. But one thing I want to talk about that I'm like loving about these new series that we didn't have in the first series is it seems we're getting more importance put on the human race. Like in the last series, we literally was the lowest on the totem pole, had zero to little importance. And when it came to the grand scheme of things, power wise, we couldn't hold our own against no one. It seemed like all we had was one representative, Human God Bond. I call Bond Human God Bond because he was literally on the level of gods by the end of the series. We cannot call him not Human God Bond. But let me moving on. But don't ever mention he does not even qualify. He came in the game already defeating demons. He was bestowed a grace from the goddess race by fate. Fate gave him god powers for no reason at all, except he was, I guess, worthy of it. But he came in the game defeating demons, no diff. And we had Bond face them same demons. And it's like, after one, he cut out one hard and see they had 5 more. He's like, oh, hell no, we getting up out of here. Bond had to pack up his harem. Jericho, Elaine, let's go. We going out of here. Let's get the hell out of here. They had to pack their bags, try to run. We got him hauling ass through Britannia to escape these demons. And then we introduced the Escanor. He no different in no time at all. It made no sense. I cannot qualify him on a human. He's not in the human category. I get him. He a hybrid or something. He a human. I don't know. But moving on, let's move on to the later parts. What happens next is because Percival was raised as an honorable kid, raised up by a holy knight, he believes in protecting people and saving lives. He's an honorable person. He's a hero. I guess he got heroic attributes already. So he hops off the paddy wagon, whatever they're driving on, and he attempts to face off against this huge, immense wolf. And at first, you kind of get the feel like, okay, we know Percival. He got some skill. He has some combat training. But actually, how strong is Percival? I mean, we see that 5 seconds in. He no dips. He slapped the shit. He slapped the taste out that wolf mouth in a quarter second. It's like, okay, he saved the whole village. He's our savior. And then, okay, Percival's on the way to become a powerful holy knight. That's what we kind of get the feel of, okay? And then we cut to another part of the chapter. Episode. I cannot show this, but Percival, I guess he a natural born Rizzler. He finds his way into a hot spring with the girl that they was traveling performing with. He gets in a hot spring with her. They just having a conversation. We see that. That's when we get a look at that big scar Ironside gave him. And like I said, this is an X marks the spot kind of scar. It's big as hell. It crosses his entire body. Percival's like, I guess like 5'6". He could fit in my pocket, like I said before. So he's a little guy, and this scar is taking up a good portion of his body. And it's like, dang, you should have died from that. But he proceeded to have a shower or bathe. He bathed naked with this girl. And like I said, Percival, he's innocent. He does not even grasp the, I guess, what I want to call it, the gravity of the situation. He doesn't realize he is fondling this girl, and she doesn't realize that this guy is not 8 years old. He's not a toddler, so you're bathing with literally someone your own age. So this is it should be way more intense and steamy, but you really thinking you bathing a child and he just saved you? No, it's not even like that. But Percival, he's not even acquainted with the opposite sex. You are literally probably the only female he's ever seen. So he's curious. He's feeling around. And then we cut back to the later part of the episode when they're back at the village. Before then, there's one thing I forgot to mention. When that wolf was defeated, we cut and seen a holy knight that was in control of it. So, like I already assumed earlier, that was a chaos beast or a beast manifested by the power of chaos through Arthur. So, and we already got confirmation of that when we see that knight. So most likely this knight is going to appear in the village and try to, I guess, see what's to Percival, because like he wasn't expecting Percival to take down that wolf. No, we head back to the village, and at this point they're having a celebration, a banquet style cookout, I guess. It's celebrate good time. I mean, Percival saved the village, crisis averted. It's time to actually enjoy life again, because you almost thought it was over. And it's at this point that we get a conversation between Donnie and the other two traveling performers. I'm not learning their names. They play no pivotal role in the story. I'm sure of it. I'm thinking I'm sure. But we have a conversation when they actually find out Percival's age. And at this point, the girl get embarrassed because he saw everything. I mean, that's what you get for being shameless, I guess, my girl. Like, he's a boy still, so you was actually really shameless. But I gotta commend you. At least you taught IMC about the female anatomy. I mean, prior to that, I think he was clueless. So at least we probably can relate to him on that front. Percival probably like females now. But moving on, we head to the later part of the episode, and where another crisis appears before the village. And this time, it turns out to be a Chaos Knight, the one that we seen who was in control of that wolf-like figure. I don't want to even call it a wolf. That bit was a dire wolf, if anything. But this is the Chaos Knight that was in control of it. He appears in the village looking for Percival. The knight goes on to say, in the report, it mentioned that the kid and his grandfather died, referring to Vargas and Percival. So it seemed that this knight is in cahoots with the person that killed Vargas. Well, Ironside, pretty much. So he mentions that Ironside, I guess he had sympathy for his son. And that was the farthest from the case. Nah, you right. He on y'all side for sure. I've never seen someone so ruthlessly cut down their own seed like him. He's a villainous character if any. He's our first antagonist, I want to say, in this story. So this may be our second. So we meet this second knight. He goes on to mention his name is Pellegarde, and we have this other traveling performer. He goes on to try to confront this knight for sake of Percival, and he gets socked immediately. He puts him down in the dirt. He's knocked out, and we see this knight. I guess he's got some strength to it. I wouldn't expect nothing less from a Chaos Knight at this point. They selling it super high. They already got 1K. They KD already 1-0. They almost attempted murder Percival, so they are strong. They are at a high threshold. He engages in conversation with Percival. He tries to figure out what's Percival's motivation. Well, Percival, he's an open book already. I told y'all, he's naive. He asks, where's Ironside? How do you know my grandfather? You know, Pellegarde, he lets them know, like, yes, guy, I'm from Camelot. I'm an ally to your father. You know, Percival, he thinks he's really a menacing figure because he tried to demand Pellegarde, a knight, in black armor to demand to give him the whereabouts of Ironside. Of course, this knight declines, and it turns into a duel. I mean, they both agree to it. It's a funny moment where they wasn't on the same page. It's like they was almost having two different conversations. They was, where's my grandfather? You know, Pellegarde, you're a strong kid. I never thought you got some bravado. You're not chilling before me. You should be shaking. I'm literally about to murder you right now. Or at the least, I'm going to at least beat you up real bad. I mean, my orders are to murder you, but I mean, Pellegarde, for the most part, he doesn't seem like more like villainous as much as Ironside. Ironside, he cut nothing to the chase. He cut to the chase, I mean. He low diff Percival. He put an X mark the spot tattoo on him forever. He got a scar because of his own father. It shows what type of guy Ironside actually is. He was willing to fight a Mortal Kombat, no holds barred death battle against his father and son in succession. Like, if you on that type of time, and it just shows like, yeah, you just down in hell with the demons. You in pure evil land. So it seems that the Pellegarde, he's not on that type level. He's not on that type timing with Percival. They begin their little bout, and it seems that Percival, he is not as skilled using magic, but his combat skills are definitely like great. I must say, he's unleashing combo after combo. He's meleeing with the best of them, but he has no weapon, no sword. So it's not like he could fight to the death. If you gonna beat somebody to death, I don't think the anime gonna show that. But it gets to a point when Pellegarde, he just grabs Percival by the head and just like, bro, just stop it. He's like a bug at this point. Percival's like a gnat, buzzing around, swiping around, trying to do anything, but not accomplishing much. And it's like, Percival, like, did you not see what happened to your grandfather? And you trying to box with a holy knight? You trying to bare knuckle box your way to the top, and I don't think it's gonna work out good for you, my guy. Like, I don't think there's a type series where you could just go southpaw and make it to the top 3 in your verse. Like, it's not gonna happen. Maybe it worked for Escanor, but I don't think you got the player build to accomplish that in the state you in now. So they continue, and Percival gets grabbed up, and he's getting yoked out. He's getting hit with blows left and right, and it almost preempt Donnie. He almost get the urge to want to go because of that girl. It's like, please don't hype his head up to go get no death. He's gonna lay beside that other traveling performer who tried to try Pellegarde beforehand. So just don't do it, Donnie. Like, you pick your battles, and it's definitely not a battle you want to get yourself in. He's not even trying to hurt Percival. He's not giving it his all. He's not being malicious. He's not beating the hell out of Percival. He could really just be on the road to murdering Percival right now. No different than putting him down in the dirt and trying to send him to meet Grandpa. But he's not going hard. He's just beating him up, hitting him with simple jabs to left, right. See, it gets to a point where Percival, he unlocks some magic and he uses something. I don't know what type of magic it is, but it's a yellowish aura. It envelops Percival and it gives him the strength to break free of Pellegarde's. Get to the end of the episode. We see magic envelop Percival with his fist. So I guess that's what the next episode is going to take off from. We're going to see Pellegarde and Percival in a magic bout. They finna have a magic fest. I don't know, a magic duel. And y'all let me know if y'all like this video. Y'all let me know if y'all want me to continue covering episodes of Four Nights of Apocalypse and what other manga y'all want me to cover. Like, peace.